With all auspicious blessings and grace of my Guru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashiva, I welcome you to this video. In my previous videos, I had shared how I handled the trollers, how I handled the online abuse and the shaming, the defaming. I had shared it from my personal experience. A lot of the viewers have written back asking, did I face this only after I became an actor? Or did I face it even before I was an actor? If I did, how I handled it? And during my career of almost 22 years of acting, there have been many incidences where I've been there, where you would have been through phases of either name shaming, gender shaming, and these toxic work experiences. It's been like a flood of questions people wanted to know. And a lot of viewers also wanted to know how after 2010 persecution of this false manipulated video that made across the internet has not made me depressed or addicted to drugs, and some of them are even surprised that I'm even alive and carrying forward with the same smile, with the same glitter in my eyes. Yes, when I was in school and college, I didn't complete my education, maybe I just started college. But my childhood, I remember, it started with name shaming. My pre-monastic name was Valli, which my parents had named me. It was named after the goddess Sri Valli, who was Lord Muruga's consort, divine consort. But I was studying in an Anglo-Indian school. And in Anglo-Indian school in Chennai, that was one of the best schools. But a lot of them had this, the kids who grew up with me in class, they thought it was more of fun. So they would call me Valli, 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 Valli. It was like a rhyme. Initially I felt okay, and then I started feeling a bit ashamed. I used to withdraw to tell my name to people. I did actually, a lot of these things started playing in the way I started interacting with people. I realized that now, but even at that time I used to withdraw from people because of the way they shamed my name, and I had no answers, I had no responses, I did not know how to handle it. Then from there, and of course there have been many incidents, we've been there, we are of women, we do get gender shamed, I have faced, I will not say caustic comments, but more of people trying to hit on me, and I really hate people trying to hit on me sexually or anything else. I'm a person who likes being by myself, and yes, I had a lot of friends of both the genders, both the male genders and the female genders. But my male gender friends I had a very clear demarcation of how I would communicate with them, what would be my stance, and I had a certain limits. And I would say yes, it has helped me a lot, but it did not insulate me from being called a slut because I'm an actress, or a slut just because we're women. And in fact, I remember people would just try and touch you in buses, or when you're going for walks with your friend, they would just touch you because you're a different gender, and they get some kind of pervert joy in it. All this has led to a lot of withdrawal, and you do feel a lot of shame, and then you start feeling, oh, because you're a woman, you're having to go through this. Yes, I have been through all that in my childhood, and when I started working, I would start feeling how people would respond to me, how people would react to me. And even when I was acting, or even before my acting, I would know that how newspapers would name shame the actresses because they are females, they're working in such a profession. It is automatically assumed that they have no moral or ethical values or family values, and they feel that we're all open to be slut shamed. This is the concept men have in general about women, and especially if an actress, then it's like a public property. Anybody can tell you anything, and they say, oh, it's the price of being a celebrity. I really honestly never understood that argument. Just because you're a celebrity, does that give people the rights to slut shame you? I don't think it is. And I don't think it is also fair. It only shows the kind of violence the other person has. They want to make me feel guilty for achieving the success which they were not able to achieve. So, what's the best way? Slut shame the other person. And it's not just me, I have seen so many of my colleagues across genres, across genders, across geography who have been through the same. And many of them have chosen other ways to help them survive this. Some of them I know are addicted to alcohol, some of them I know are addicted to drugs, some of them are absolutely depressed, or they have bipolar, or what today's science terms as bipolar or maniac depression. So I have seen almost 95% of my colleagues handle it differently. But my life, I choose neither drugs, neither depression, nor death. I choose divinity. I think the fundamental one of the main reasons I choose divinity from, let's say, my childhood was my Hindu upbringing, my Hindu culture. I have seen my pre-monastic mother always turn to God for all solutions. Every solution. She would go to the temple, or she would pray to God, or she would talk to God. This was been my clear beacon from my childhood. She would never go talk to her friends, or she would never cry, or she never feel suicidal. Yeah, there was one more point. I have seen so many of my colleagues commit suicide, and I could never understand why someone would commit suicide. What is the pain that makes people just want to give up their life? I always believed in being a fighter. But what happens is that willpower of wanting to fight, wanting to survive, wanting to win, the goodness in you to win, starts eroding when you're constantly slut shamed, when you're constantly shamed for the gender you are, when you're constantly shamed for just looking as you're looking. See, if someone says my values are not good, someone says my ethics are not good, then yes, I'm happy to change my work ethics, I'm happy to do better, and my whole life has been work oriented. So work is my passion, work is my life. I do not compare my assessment or feedback or critical evaluation of my work as slut shaming or name shaming. I have this clarity. But when they shame me because I'm an actress, or they feel, hey, what is there? நடிகை தானே, 4 வார்த்தை சொன்னா அவன் என்ன குறைஞ்சா போயிடுவா. I don't think it's fair, and I never understand the thought current of people who would even say something like that. Because in my childhood, my mother always used to, first thing she would say is never gossip about anybody, especially if anything bad, do not even talk about it. It is neither going to help you nor others. But yes, what happens is when you're exposed more and more to the negativity, where it is acceptable, it is common, it is taken as a norm. Eve teasing is a norm. Telling someone they look fat is a norm. Telling someone that you look awful, you could have had a better day, is norm. This is becoming a norm over the society. Then what happens is, no matter how much good values you try to keep, it starts eating inside you. Whether it's a female or a male, it does not matter. It is the soul, it is the superconscious being inside you. The negativity overwhelms you and you feel, okay, this is how life is. And I don't know how to deal with it. So either I become addicted, or I become depressed, or I commit suicide. These are the 3 options people seem to have, which is easier to do than to survive the negativity. Come back. For me, that comeback point started when in 2002 I started watching Swamiji's satsangs, and I read extensively his teachings, his principles, his values, how he teaches us to come back to that superconscious space. And he so clearly says it is possible. We just need to keep practicing, and simply a man can walk out of his suffering and his violence, his rage, his suffocation. And that is what causes U-turn in me. Why am I not choosing this? Why can I not try it and see? If there is a solution that is going to make me happier, I would try it. That's normal phase. I don't want to binge on drugs, or I don't want to binge on ridiculous movies. I started to binge on Swamiji's books, Swamiji's teachings, Swamiji's techniques. And that has helped me really to take a huge U-turn in how I assess myself, how I evaluate myself versus how the world is trying to impose their ideas and ideologies about me.